Good afternoon, growers. It's January 22nd and we're down in the Veg Room. Just checking on the plants now, and I'll be watering them once I've recorded the video here today. So here's the Bubba Kush in the back, and there, all along the back edge here is the Bubba Kush, till right there. And then we've got a kosher Kush beside it, small kosher Kush. This pheno of the kosher Kush is very different than all the other ones. It's very slim, sort of delicate looking. It's got lots of branches, but not a lot of leaf matter to it. Should be interesting to flower that one out. And then these are the 3 Crop King Seeds Gelatos. And they're not quite as green as they should be. As you can see, I've got a little bit of chlorosis showing, or lack of nitrogen. I did feed them a little bit in the last couple days, but they need a little heavier dose, it looks like. And this is one of our kosher Kush right here. And these little plants have come along quite a ways. And then this is a Gorilla Glue. And I think the other Gorilla Glue is right beside it here. So there we are, and the 3rd Gorilla Glue. So I went and got a new phone, and the video color is much better than it was, and same with the stabilization, than my 6-year-old phone that I had. So I should be able to record a little better quality of videos. And here's the Project Re-Veg. It's all nice and dark green, doesn't need any more food in it, so I've just been feeding it plain water the last little while now. And I'm not seeing anywhere starting to grow anything new yet, but I've never done this before, so looks like there's some newer looking leaves down in the bottom of this thing. Come on, focus in there, baby. In that area right there, the center of the screen. And there was some clones up in my tray. I decided I'm not going to keep the other blueberry, so I cut them and threw them in the garbage. I kept 3 of the LSD, and I'll knock that down to 1, just so I can keep those genetics alive for the next little while. Definitely want to grow it again. And as you can see, these guys are still suffering a bit from their transplant. They just went too long without food. They're starting to green up on the tops now. Over the next week, I'll feed them a little heavier, and we'll get them greened up again. So there's the canopy for the next run. It's pretty even. There's a little bit of variation between the plants. I'll do a little super cropping on them again today. Try to get them leveled down. So as you can see, some of them are starting to stand up above the group. But they're all still very compact, and the plants are doing fantastic. Okay, so here's the clones that I have going right now. I've overheated them. I've got the dome open. They've got roots, but these were all some really nice tops of the Gorilla Glue. But I didn't water them in time, and they dried out. So I soaked them, and they've recovered, and now we got some roots in them. So it won't be long, and I'll stick those into some cubes too. So let's go see the flower rooms. Hey growers, it's January 22nd. We're up here at the Crop King tent, taking a look at the Gelato and the sour diesels. The plants are doing really well. We're closing in on the end of their lives here, and we're starting to reduce the food over the next few days, and then we'll cut it off altogether for the final week of their flower time. So here's the tall ones. Take a look and see how frosty they are. As you can see, the leaves are starting to fade out now. Everything's getting lighter. But I did pretty good this time with the fertilizers. Managed to keep the plants green right up until when I'm cutting their nutrients down. And they did really well. I'm very happy with this run. And we'll see how it comes out for yield. The buds look amazing. Go in and take a look at some of these little gelatos here. I got myself a new phone, so the recording should be much better. Yeah, it works much better. Really happy. It represents the color a lot better than my old phone did. I don't know how its zoom works yet. We'll give that a try. I think that's pretty good. Let's look at some of these. Calyxes are starting to swell, as you can see on the flowers. And they're starting to put on some decent amount of size over the last week. That looks really nice in the phone. Super happy. Okay. So that's the tent. Now let's go check the rest of them. And here's the other Crop King seeds, Gelato and sour diesels. I went and I just threw a piece of trellis over the top of them because the buds were starting to fall against each other and the walls, and then stood them all back up. The plant in the back left corner, its ppm when I check it at runoff is always 300 less than the food that's going in, so it was a real eater. And because of that, it's running low on nutrients over the last week here. I thought it was because of a light hot spot, but you can see the coloring has changed all over the whole plant, not just the top where the light is. So it's definitely starting to head its way out, and it was the first to flower. It flowered fairly quickly, and it developed some really nice sized buds. So that one's looking really good as a keeper out of the gelatos. The one beside it here looks frostier than it, but it's much slower to ripen. And this one's about the furthest behind, but it did get the tallest, although the buds aren't quite as big as some of the other ones. It's still really nice. Take a look at some of those. Look down inside here and we can see how big these things really got. Well, can't really. I got them tied up now. I can't spread them out. Good try there, Ed. Okay, so that's the Crop King seeds. And here's our weather-beaten poor plant. She's survived. Has never been really happy since she got froze. And you can really see the difference in the height and volume that made on the plant. So temperature can really drive things, or it can slow them right down for you. And that's all for the Crop King stuff. Hey growers, here's the main flower root. We're at about day 14, or somewhere there, close to. I think it's 2 weeks. And on this side here, we have 4 blueberry in the back corner. And then over here, that's 6 LSD plants. And then 1 sour diesel that makes up the space at the front. This is a clone from the plant that's in the Crop King tent. And in the time that was flowered, this plant grew to about 3.5 feet wide and 3.5 feet tall. So it is a serious grower. Okay, let's go in and take a couple of look at some of these little buds. And here's an LSD. And that's what we got going for the week. As you can see from the trellis that was installed about 7 days ago, the plants have grown quite a bit. And I did go in and clean up the bottoms some more. And they could probably use another 4 or 5 inches off them pretty quick here. I do not like trim and larf, and I didn't clean up the bottoms high enough last time. And now I'm going to suffer for it when I trim all of the plants that I've got in flower right now. So that's it for this week. And again, thank you for checking out my garden. We've got 300 subscribers now. I appreciate everybody. Thanks for coming and checking out my garden and hanging out with me. If you've got any comments, questions, or suggestions, please post them, and I'll be happy to answer them. And any advice, I'm glad to take it. Thank you very much.